What's going on, guys? So I just finished my 1000th pit run in Project Diablo 2, mainly using my, actually only using my martial arts assassin. So I actually got a lot of good drops in this one. Took me about maybe 2 to 3 minutes per run. And towards the end I started doing player 7 as I got better gear. I also got a lot of good experience from it. So right now my assassin's 93 or so, and I think I was like 81 or 2 when I first started. But here we go. So run 35, we find some unique boots, and these are Shadow Dancers, 2 to Shadow Disciplines. Then on the way to the pits, I found this awesome jewel, 33% enhanced damage and 9 to max damage. So I think it's really good. I haven't used it yet, but I will. Run 89, we find a Set Hunter's gaze, however you say it. It's Alder's helmet. 113, we find a large Grand Charm, and it's 1 to traps, 24 to life. Run 126, we find a Set Shadow Plate, Alder's Shadow Plate. 2 and 2 on the skills. Next we find Alder's Boots on run 131. Run 158, we find Loricated Mail, which is Natalia's. On the way to the pits, we find a Small Charm, run 232, which is 4 to all resistances. I think this is one of my first all resist charms. Run 240, we find another Small Charm, which is 3 to all resistances, only like 10 runs later. Run 262, we find Chaos Armor, which is Triangle's Chaos Armor, 2 and 2 on the skills. 291, we find an Rune. Run 303, another Small Charm, which is 17 to mana, which is perfect, and 6% MF. That's a really good charm for my sorcerers. Run 320, we find another 7% MF Small Charm. Run 347, we find a Lightning Skiller with 10 to life. Run 350, 1 to combat skills, Skiller for Pally. That's like my 4th or 5th one in total. Run 376, we find Dwarf Star, and normally I find a lot of these, but this one is 8% absorb and 50 to life, so perfect in those categories here. Run 391, I find a Battle Cestus, which is Shadow Killer, 255% ED, and 3 to Shadow Disciplines. 433, we find a Gull Rune. Run 502, we find Nat's Scissors, Sawaya. Run 533, we find another Grand Charm, which is 1 to Summoning Skills. Next we find 18 to life, 6 Cold Resist Small Charm. Pretty good on the way to the pits. Next we find a Troll Belt, 562, which is Trang's belt. Run 578, this is actually the first one I found, I think. The Tyrant Club, which is Demon Limb, which is great for the 23 Enchant Fire, especially for the Zealer. It gives a lot of attack rating and extra damage. 591, we find a Pull Rune again. $603, we find Alibaba. 613, we find another Grand Charm, which is Druid Summoning Skiller. 637, we find Trang's helmet, which completes the set. 645, another Small Charm. And this one is another 7% Magic Find. I think my sorcerers is almost up to 400% Magic Find now. Next, we find an Eth Demon Head, which is Andy's Visage, which is great for my Mercenary. Lifesteal, attack speed. Run 672, we find another Grand Charm. Another Lightning Skiller with 16 to life instead of 10. Run 685, we find another Grand Charm. And this is 1 to summoning skills for Necromancer. I think that's probably like 8 or 9th one. Run 698, we find a Gorun out of the last chest. Run 715, we find a unique jewel, and this is almost perfect poison facet. Could be good for a poison necro. 741, another lightning skiller. I think that's the third one in these runs. 765, on the way to the pits, we find another skiller, which is combat skills for Barbarian and some cold damage. 803, another Grand Charm. 1 to defensive auras. Run 841, we find a Vex rune. This is the first high rune we found. 840 runs into it. Then shortly after, we find a summoning skiller with 16 to life for the Necro. Then 898, we find another unique jewel. And this time it is a fire resist. It's low on it, but the first fire facet I got. Then we find Mara's on 915. This is the second one I found. I bricked the first one. The second one, I might corrupt it, I'm not sure. 930, we find BK's sword. Few runs left here. 941, we find another Grand Charm. And it's another Lightning Skiller. I think that's number 4. 967, we find a unique Grim Shield. And this one I actually corrupted recently, and I got $3 skills. If you saw the corruption video I did like a little while ago. 973, I got a Pole Rune. I think this is the second one, or third one. 977, we find a Small Charm, which is another 7% magic find. Small Charm. Third one in this run. 981, we find another Pole Rune. And then down to the last good run, 995, we find Dimensional Shard. And I've needed this for a while for my Sorceress. And this is Death's Fathom and 28% cold damage. So this increases my Sorceress Frozen Orb by like 200. So I have like an 1800 orb now. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions or comments below.